Attorney General Merrick Garland threatening legal action against Texas. This after Governor Greg Abbott signed an executive order restricting the transportation of migrants who could potentially spread COVID-19 into Texas communities. Governor Abbott firing back, saying he will do everything he can to protect the health and safety of Texas. Joining me now, Pinal County, Arizona Sheriff Mark Lamb. Mark, you just got back from a conference centered on the border crisis. Tell us what you learned.
Yeah, I just got back from a national interdiction conference, Dagan, in Baltimore. And what we learned is that this drug problem, this border crisis that we're talking about right now, is affecting communities from California to New York and everything in between. This interdiction conference focused on interdiction stops on our highways and streets across America. And the amount of drugs being pulled off in these vehicles is staggering and unprecedented. And that should alarm Americans, because that's what's coming in when you don't have border security. This open border policy that this Biden administration has not only brings in Americans, but it brings in drugs. That's why we as sheriffs are standing against it and Protect America Now. And you can check it out at protectamericanow.com. We have to stand up for the American people and for freedom.
Is there any sense from you that this White House, this administration is going to do something to stop what I have described as allowing criminals to profit from human misery, whether it's human trafficking and particularly drug trafficking that is clearly leading to overdoses of, say, fentanyl nationwide?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Dagan. And the answer to your question is no. I don't see that they're going to do anything about it. As a matter of fact, their policies continue to push the other way. They're talking about removing Title 42, which deals with the ability to remove people for COVID. Now you have Merrick Garland threatening to sue Texas for wanting to protect their own state and their own people. You know, the problem is that the government is getting out of hand, too big, government overreach. They're interfering in state activity, and they're not doing their job, which is to protect our borders and to enforce border laws, immigration laws. They're not doing that, and I don't see any end in sight. They seem to just be going the opposite direction.
Based on the interdiction conference you went to, what are sheriffs, particularly in border communities and in border states, going to do to try and cope with this surge in illegal migrants?
You know, this has been a huge strain on our resources, our man hours. This has been something that's consumed us, and we're going to continue to fight the fight. We can't raise the white flag, but we're going to continue to clamor for the U.S. government to do their job, or at least get out of the way and give us the funding so that we can do it. We've been working with our attorney generals, our local county attorneys, to try to find ways that we can protect our communities from this border crisis and the effects of the human trafficking and drug trafficking into this country.
The White House Deputy Press Secretary yesterday giving essentially a non-answer when asked why migrants are allowed to cross the border freely while Americans are being clamped down upon, particularly because of COVID-19. Listen to this.
Why is it that the federal government is asking vaccinated Americans to wear masks to stop the spread of COVID-19, but at the same time, federal agents are also releasing COVID-19 positive border crossers into small towns in Texas?
CBP takes its responsibility to prevent the spread of communicable diseases very, very seriously. We value our partners in local communities whose work is critical to moving individuals safely out of custody and through the appropriate immigration pathway, and assist in mitigating COVID-19 and isolating quarantine when needed.
Mark, your reaction to that response?
This has been the administration of hypocrisy. They continue to be hypocrites in everything that they do. And this is not about COVID to them. This is about control. And they're using COVID as a measure to control the American people. The border issue is the perfect example and should clarify it for the American people that they care about restricting your movement as Americans and your freedoms. And they're going to do it with border security because they don't care about COVID on that end. They're allowing it to come in, and that should be alarming to all Americans. It is to us as sheriff.
Are the local residents seeing this firsthand? Like they know they see the impact. In what ways?
Well, we see it, and we've had pursuits in our neighborhoods, people's vehicles being broken into, houses being broken into, people losing children to the effects of dangerous drugs like fentanyl and methamphetamines across this country. I mean, this is killing American communities, literally killing American communities. Now you want to talk about if COVID is such a serious issue, if you believe it's so serious, now that you're allowing it to come in, you have unfettered borders on the south end, and you're allowing that to come into the communities. You know, I just don't see that they care about American people, and it's a shame. And I would hope that they would reverse their ways and start to make policies that are going to benefit the American people.
The Title 42, which hasn't been reversed yet, allows the deportation of literally everybody who attempts to get into the United States, but that's not happening.
That's not happening. Look, even though Title 42 is there, it's something they're barely holding on to in Border Patrol and ICE. If they remove that, then really there's nobody that's going to be getting sent back. You know, I go to meetings with ICE and Border Patrol, and we almost have to treat them like confidential informants now. But they're giving us information all the time, telling us that these guys every policy they issue is allowing more and more people to stay in this country. Hey, on good faith, come back in 2 weeks to your court hearing. Nobody comes back. They don't come back. And even if they do, they're not being sent back for violating any of their stipulations.
Indeed, 50,000 illegal immigrants, when catch and release was brought back by this administration, 50,000 illegal immigrants were released into the country, and just 13% have reported to Immigration and Customs Enforcement on reaching their destinations. 13%, and I think you might say that's probably high.
I do think it's high. You know, and what they're doing is distributing these people on buses and planes all across America so that the American people don't feel the immediate impact of what they're doing on the border. But I'm going to tell you, it's going to hit you in the side of the head pretty soon. When you see all the fentanyl flooding your community and you see all the people in the streets that are here illegally in this country, you know, we've got to get back to work. We've got American businesses that need to be taken care of. And allowing folks coming across this border into this country unfettered, unchecked, is not going to help that.
Sheriff Mark Lamb, thank you for being here. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Dagan.
Thank you for what you're
Appreciate it.
doing.
God bless.
God bless.